Hi, my name is Karin, and today I want to show you how to cook a spaghetti squash. This is a spaghetti squash. Now, just as the name implies, it does look like spaghetti inside. So the reason I like to use spaghetti squash is it provides an interesting alternative to regular pasta with all the vitamins and minerals that just add to variety in the diet. So it's also low in calorie, which makes it weight loss friendly. Actually, 1 cup of spaghetti squash has only 31 calories compared to linguine, which I like to use sometimes. This has 200 calories in a cup. So yeah, that's a huge difference, isn't it? It's also high in fiber, which makes it diabetes friendly. Now to start, I've preset the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And so if we were to take this knife and try to cut the squash right now, it would be really hard. It's rock hard. So instead of doing that, I'm gonna put it in the oven and let it cook for 25 to 30 minutes. And then we will try to cut it. It should be a lot easier. So we're gonna stick this fork into the squash just to poke some holes so it doesn't explode. We don't want that happening. And then place it on a cookie sheet. And stick it in the oven. All right, so we pull it out of the oven. It's very hot right now, so I'm going to use a hot pad and a cloth, which I'm going to be using this cloth to hold on to it while I cut it, just so I don't burn myself. All right, so I'm going to cut it down the middle vertically just because supposedly that makes longer noodles, and it just seems a little bit easier for me when I'm holding it with this hot pad. You know, I could let it cool down, but if you're short on time, might as well just use a hot pad. There we go. So it's still a little bit hard, but it's definitely easier than it would have been if I had cut it raw. So let me show you the inside. There we go. I'm gonna scoop out the seeds and the slimy stuff inside the middle of the spaghetti squash and place it in the bowl. We don't need it anymore, but I'm cleaning it out before we cook the rest of it more because it's gonna be more difficult to get this stuff out later, and we don't really want to eat this stuff. Unless you roast the seeds, which I know you can do that with butternut squash. Not sure if you can do that with spaghetti squash. And there we go. So now we're gonna place our halves that are cleaned out and cut onto our baking pan, which is now filled with 1/4 inch of water, which is gonna steam the spaghetti squash. And it's also gonna help it cook faster. So there we go. And we will cook it for another 15 to 20 minutes in the oven. Alrighty, so our spaghetti squash is out of the oven and it was very hot. You have to be careful taking the water out of the oven in the tray. Definitely don't want it to splash on you. And the spaghetti squash itself, I let it cool for 10 minutes. So now it should be ready for us to pull out the spaghetti. So let's turn it over. Still kind of steaming, but maybe if you cool it with its right side up, it will be better. So let us poke it. Poke it in the sides like this. And then we will stick a fork in here and just kind of twirl it around. And you can see we've got spaghetti. I've got a bowl here to put it in. So we'll just keep doing that until it's all cleaned out. Clean out as much as possible. You don't want to eat the skin necessarily, but you can eat everything up to the skin. So we've got a nice mimic of pasta here. And I've got my pasta sauce. Just some tomato sauce with crushed tomatoes and herbs. Sometimes I like to put onion and eggplant in my tomato sauce. And there we have spaghetti without pasta. So isn't this amazing? It's gonna be so delicious, and it's healthy and weight loss friendly, diabetes friendly. There's so many other things you can do with spaghetti squash. I've even seen people put black beans in it, put different sauces. You could do a white sauce, you could do a peanut sauce. There's just limitless opportunities for this squash, just like there is for pasta. So I hope you will try some of them and try this one too. It's really good. Yum. So there goes the first video of my channel. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like it and subscribe.